This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back. Looking for answers to the direction you should head into in your life? Maybe you're feeling a little heavy right now. Maybe you're seeing things before you in terms of life direction, but you're not really sure how to take action on that. We have a lot going on in terms of astrology and a lot of planetary transits. There's a lot going on. She harnesses the power of that, the understanding of that, helps us understand it. But here's the beautiful, connection here. She coaches you using astrology and wellness and makes your life you figure it out, helps you figure it out. I've learned so much every time we get together with her as our professional of the year. Nancy Volante is back with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Steve, and I do feel that heaviness myself, in the energy. I did a video yesterday on my Instagram, and as I was doing it, the first thing I said was, "Ooh, let me take a breath here." The last 2 months have been a lot, and the universe is asking us and guiding us to a lot. And as I always say, it's we have free will, so it's free choice, and how we do it, when we do it. Sometimes, though, with the energy of the planets, and because we're part of the universe ourselves, it's nice to be in contact and in connection with that, so you could hear the call, not only outside, but internally. And for me, that's the biggest is, okay, I'm feeling something internally. How can I use this tool, astrology and wellness coaching, to bring it together so I can navigate a little bit clearer? Or sometimes it's not clear. We struggle and then we find that clarity.
What I'm realizing in the last week or two, it's not a surprise. Not a surprise. It's more of a door knock now. It's thoughts that I had, but now the bell, somebody rang the bell on the door. So now I guess I got to answer it. But here's what I'm realizing. It's like a puzzle, and these transits are revealing the puzzle pieces. And if you move this piece over here, which you might not feel comfortable doing because it's safe. But if you move this one's going to move, this one's going to move, and they could all be different categories. This could be relationships. This one could be professional life. This one, something else, family, whatever it is. But they're all connected, whether you want to admit it or not. And if you move one, it's going to move the other one. There's going to be something going on because of one being moved. Then that also would be the other one, which makes it even harder to move the first one because we don't embrace discomfort. And we know there could be discomfort. Ultimately, in our hearts, we know it's for the better, but maybe we don't have the faith to just do it. But it's coming more clear for me. Does any of that make sense?
Oh my God, it makes such perfect sense. And I was thinking of this, and intuitively, my son has a tattoo of two puzzle pieces. They're not quite together yet.
Mm.
And I often said to him, and he got this a few years ago, and I said, I'm not quite sure if I get that. And I'm not sure if I get your tattoo. And as years went on, and I'm doing my work and stuff, and it's like, wow, Paul, I really get that tattoo. And Steve, you really nailed it, because that's basically what it is. It's a puzzle, and we're moving the pieces. And guess what? The pieces come together and they come apart. So we're always creating a different landscape, right? And sometimes through the moon, that landscape is faster, right? So those puzzle pieces are moving a little bit faster because of the cycle. And so that reverberates out into the planets. It's like a reverberation, like if you throw a pebble into the old saying, if you throw a pebble into the pond, it ripples out. So all those cycles are either fast, the personal planets, or they get longer and longer, the outward planets that we've talked about, Neptune. Saturn, I'm going to include in there Pluto. I mean, they're really long cycles. So we're constantly shifting the puzzle pieces around. They never stay stagnant. And that's what's so interesting about it. And you're right, it does feel uncomfortable. And I am such a big supporter. And that uncomfortableness is such a place of creativity. Doesn't feel good. I've wanted to run away and I have. Resistance, we've all done that. And sometimes, as you said, Steve, the planets, they'll knock on your door. That's gentle. Something like I'm going to say Pluto, and that's not to bring fear up, but we do have fear. That transit, which is for a long time, 20 something years, it'll hit you on the head with a 2x4 every now and then if you didn't get it, right? Uranus, if you don't, he'll give you a breakthrough or a crisis or some kind of explosive kind of thing. Now, you can see those internally, emotionally, and you can see what happens in the outer world. Earthquakes, explosions, all these things that happen are reflections of what we maybe can go inside and look inside ourselves, which this is where I feel and where I've done this work for so many years that I've combined the astrology and the wellness coaching
Hmm.
to actually coach somebody through what they're going through. And I'm going to use the full moon in Aquarius, which is in preparation because the full moon is not upon us in Eastern Standard Time in our sector of the world. It will be August 9th at 3:55 a.m. So we're preparing for that. You usually feel 5 days before, 5 days after these luminaries, the sun and the moon. And I think this is I wanted to take this because the moon is in Aquarius. And I wanted to show how I might work with somebody if they were doing a coaching session, which usually goes in a package of four. Because this moon, let me just say that first, is calling us, and I wrote some stuff down here, is calling us, illuminating the sky to bring clarity, truth, and a call for radical authenticity. So excuse me, Uranus rules excuse me, Aquarius, and the ancient ruler is Saturn, but we're going to go with Uranus today. So I keep on saying Uranus must be really bearing down on me. Aquarius, because I am Aquarius, is about being an individual, about where do I get my freedom? Where do I bring in my knowledge of clarity and truth and authenticity so I can understand myself as an individual first, then bring that to the group to
Mm.
collaborate. So it's really hard sometimes, and I've done this. I've gone through this in my life. Oh, let me bring it, especially in my 20s. Let me bring everything that I'm feeling and know. Let me bring it to the group right now. But I didn't really know myself as an individual yet. Do you know what I mean? Very authentically and deeply. So there was a mismatch. That can happen with Aquarius. There can be a misunderstanding there. So this moon is asking us, can we bring that together? That understanding of who we are as an individual and bring that truth of our authenticity and all the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Because that's how we transform it. And and it is a transformative moon, not in the sense of it was Pluto, but it's Uranus, which is a breakthrough. It's a creative breakthrough. It's an emotional breakthrough. It's allowing yourself to take a risk to the unknown. So that's why I feel like
Mm.
this full moon, and especially now, we're going through a lot, all of us, right? Together as a collective. And so who are we individually? How do we bring like a potluck dinner? What dish are we going to bring to the party, right? In order to create a whole. And so in a session, what I would do first is I would look at the person's chart. If they wanted to know, we're working on the moon, for instance, that emotional landscape in the moment of that cycle. And I would see where the moon is in their chart, what house it is that creates the theme, and maybe who's talking to the moon. Okay, so I would do that. So, but we're not doing personally, we're doing more collectively right now. So, so when I'm looking at the chart right now, the moon in Aquarius on the 9th will be in the 8th house. This is for everybody. This is not personally. So the 8th house is really about transformation. It's about deep emotions. It's about how do we bring the feeling of not only our spirituality, but how do we understand people in a way that maybe is working and is not working.
I can't believe you said that
Okay,
because
go right ahead.
they just forwarded an email that we got since the last time we got together. It almost says what you're saying.
Wow.
Yeah. Instant feedback, steve@gmail.com. If you ever have a comment, a question, whatever it might be. Jen, Lake George, New York says, with everything going on astrologically, I'm feeling like I want to isolate and I'm tired of people's BS.
Yeah.
Is this normal?
That Jen, well, if she's listening today, I don't, Jen, guess what? You are right on target here because I too am feeling, I'm tired of the BS. I want to know what my truth is. What is my truth? What is your truth, Jen, Steve, and audience? And that means you don't want to project on people, and that's why the coaching session
Hmm.
helps a lot. You don't want
Yep.
to project, you want to figure out what is inside and what you can bring to the potluck party that really works. And so one question, and if I was doing a session, but what I did in my video and what I did in my email and what I did for myself, the question I asked is there's three of them for this full moon. The theme is authenticity over approval. So maybe when Jen
Hmm.
is saying in this email, I'm tired of the BS, I just want to isolate because it doesn't feel true to her. It doesn't
Hmm.
feel true to us. What feels true to you? Or are we just doing that for approval because we don't want to rock the boat?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. It's just going through the motions. But ultimately, I'm thinking that again, I guess I said this earlier, like you know what the answer is. Like you know what you should be doing, but we're afraid to rock the boat. So we just keep doing what we're doing. Maybe we make a little tweak here and there, but we feel like the proverbial fish out of water. Like this is not doesn't feel right, but I'm just going to keep doing it. Nancy, where do we find the courage
Yeah.
to make the
How beautiful
changes?
is that? I really love that you said that because let me go back to the configuration of a full moon. So the full moon, whatever archetype it's in, this full moon is in Aquarius. So you're always going to have an opposite. And I think we've talked a little bit about that. It's called polarity point or the axis point. So you're going to have another sign in a different element that is going to try to balance you out. So guess what? So Aquarius is in polarity with Leo. So this whole thing about authenticity over approval, okay? So Leo plays a part in this whole full moon because it's the push and pull. And that's what a full moon is, and we'll talk about that. It's a push and pull.
Hmm.
So Leo is definitely has courage, right? Definitely has courage. But when Leo is not feeling confident, guess what? He plays the role. Leo wants to be in the spotlight, is the actor. So if you're not in your on authenticity and where do I belong, where's my freedom, then maybe, and we're talking about a lower version here of struggling a little bit, then maybe we're in Leo. Oh, I don't have the courage. I don't feel confident enough. So I'm just going to play the role so they like me.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And
we've all done it. I've done it. I'm
oh my
raising my
God, I don't want to talk about it. Like the people pleasing. What can I do to make people happy? I just want to make sure they like me. What can I offer them? Like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Ugh, those days are
And-
done, people.
right. And that's because we all want to feel like we belong.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And Aquarius is the outsider. And because Aquarius is the innovator, the thinker, really wants to work with humanity, wants to work with community, wants to work with the truth in a creative, innovative way. And so that's a question we would maybe go over in the coaching session. The other one is well, let me just get my, oh, here it is. I just wanted to get my paper. Collective vision meets personal truth. And there's the push and pull, what we just talked about. Am I authentic even if somebody says, I really don't like what you're saying, so I'm going to walk away? Or do I have to stand in the spotlight? Oh, please like me. I'll play the role for you. That's huge right now during this full moon. And, when we think like that push-pull, like, we go back and think, well, what's happened in our life? What has made me gather that fear and not the courage? And how can I dig deep enough to understand where that narrative came from to not rock the boat? That's what you have to get to first. And then creatively change that narrative.
I never want to say these words, but they apply. And I don't want to say these words because it can be negative, and I try to change my my language for a more positive outcome because I feel like our subconscious is always listening, but the words
Yeah.
are it it could be worse. What's the worst you're thinking of with making those changes? I don't think we deeply look at what's going to happen. You make that change right there. You know you need to make that change. What are you afraid of?
Yeah,
Think deep in terms of what it could be. Is it as bad as you think it's going to be? I could pretty much guarantee no, no. But it's going to be uncomfortable or potentially, but it's not going to be as bad as you think. You're going to be all right. And I think that's what we're not seeing there. I see it. I already the puzzle pieces for me. I'm looking at them right here. I see this one, this one, this one. That one needs to move. That one needs to move. Me cause that one to move. I did move one last week over here, and so far it's been okay. But we don't look at the big picture of what's going to happen, and it's probably not as bad as what we're thinking it's going to be.
exactly. And you know what? I'm going to use myself as an example. And I'm going to say this is authentic, and this is something that I'm putting out there in the world right now.
Mhm.
I've been studying astrology for since I was 16, like we've talked about, and I've always kept it undercover. Right? Oh, you know what? That's just something that I do, and
Yeah, yeah. It's a
oh,
hobby. It's
people
a
aren't.
hobby.
It's just a hobby. And I'm kind of afraid to put it out there because how are people going to take it? Do I have enough knowledge? I mean, it
Yeah.
went on and on and on. So about 10 years ago, I started to really work through that fear of rejection or that fear of not being heard, right? These are all the things that stir these little narratives inside of us, whether they came from childhood or past life or whatever. And so, I studied more, I had more teachers, and the last 7 years, I've really put myself out there. Now, not comfortable a lot of times. And just recently, Steve, the last year, I've been really like, that's it. What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen? Nobody shows up, or maybe people show up, right? So those are the two things. It's like I'm still going to be alive, knock on wood. I'm still going to be okay. And I still have the integrity that I love astrology and I will always keep it close to my heart for courage.
Yeah.
So then I started really putting myself out there. I'm branding myself different. I'm building a new business. And I started looking on Facebook. I've just putting out there authentically what I feel intuitively, my knowledge, what I'm writing about. And I see on Facebook, wow. I'm getting, not to get into the like thing, but in this case, it made me think, oh, I'm
Yes.
getting likes from all walks of life, from high school, from college, from my master's, from when I was a professional dancer. And I said to myself this morning, I said, I think I'm going to be okay. I think I got the courage to do it. I think I'm going to let that, I'm going to receive that. So that's where you got to come from the heart
But doesn't it
and
feel
try to
great?
receive.
You're being authentic. You're being you. And I bet you that many people are thinking the same. They're
Oh, yeah.
looking, they're thirsty, hungry for answers or a direction. And that doesn't mean going to, Western medicine, 11 minutes with the doctor, getting a pill, masking symptoms,
Right.
going to the core of this. And I'm on your page, Nancy, because when I talk to people, I said, "Hey, I do podcasts." And I said, yeah, mostly metaphysical. And it's with people like Nancy. And she practices astrology. She's a life coach. She moves your life forward. Um, in the beginning, I wasn't really worried about it, but I don't know how was going to be received. Now people are
Right.
like, really? Wow. Wow. They're looking.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's
And,
cool.
and why keep that in? If you have something to offer, and I would work with somebody in a coaching session if we're working on, like a gift that I was masking my a gift that I really enjoy and love and have
Sure.
studied. And how can we unmask that in a way that's supportive, in
Mm.
a way that allows you to understand where you came from? So you have to know, I believe, in my perspective, you have to know where you come from in order to go forward, you know? So I think the full moon really brings us to a place of pulling us. It's a push and pull. How can I pull you to allow you to push yourself forward? How can I pull you to see what is being illuminated by this full moon that you can release? And in that release, let that energy push you forward. That's what's called an opposition. One of the transits or aspects, excuse me, aspects in astrology, which I love. I love it. So it's like if you had your hands out, one side's here, and they're pulling at each other, but there has to be an adjustment in order for it to fit, like your puzzle.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. It's I want to ask you, we're just about out of time, and I always ask
Okay.
this question related to different things astrologically. Full moon coming up, scale of 1 to 10. 10 being as far as full moons go, whoa, this one's a big one. This is very impactful. That's
Well,
that's
yeah.
the 10. Where we at?
You know what? I'm gonna, what is it? This is the Uranus, Aquarius, but I'm gonna say 11.
Oh, geez. When was the last time
I've
in
never said that. Is that what you were gonna ask? Sorry.
I guess, yeah, like the last time it was even close to a 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 11, Steve, because I feel so internally passionate about this authenticity because I think we're at a choice point in humanity.
Do you-
And I think, and it's not like the full moon is going to get you there right away, but it's going to start the wheels going like, okay, authenticity is a real deal. It's the real deal. And I have it. It's in me.
well,
We all are authentic.
what's a moon do at night? It illuminates. So
Yeah.
it's going to shine the light on
Yes.
authenticity.
Yeah.
Um, final question. We're at 11 on this one. When was the last time we were even close to a 10 in your memory? Or, yeah, it's been a while, but what do you think? Again, this is not scientific. We're
Yeah.
just, kind of thinking.
I think we were close to a 10 back in April, right around the eclipses. I think these
Uh,
eclipses are still working with us, and we're going to be going into eclipse season in September, which we'll definitely be talking about. And those are exciting. I like eclipses. I'm all about that. And because those are real, that's food for the soul. This is all
mm,
food for the soul.
mm. Thank you for today. Lots to
Thank
think
you.
about. Make it an exciting time. instead
Oh,
of
absolutely.
scary.
Always.
Embrace
Yeah.
the discomfort. This is all what you do. And
Yeah.
you again, coaching is great, but when you back it up by science, astrology, and give reasons for why we feel a certain way, like Jen did, and all of that, it's a beautiful arsenal to move your life forward. How do we connect with you?
How beautiful. And thank you to Jen. I really love that. You can find me on my website, which is thewhisperingsoul.net. On my email, Nancy at thewhisperingsoul.net. My Instagram, The Whispering Soul Astrology. And I'll give you my number, 203-770-8938. And I'd love to connect.
Love
Happy
talking.
full moon.
I love
Love
talking
talking
with
to you.
you. Um, it's answers. You wonder why you're feeling a certain way. This is it. Uh, Thank you. We're looking forward next time we get together.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Have a great
Appreciate it.
day.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.